¿Qué onda, vatos? Thanks for tuning in to yet another video. We are lining this new fuel tank that I purchased off of eBay. I got a crazy deal on this. These go for about $350, and I was able to find this with the fuel pump. Hear this, with the fuel pump for $300. The fuel pump alone on these Sportsters, it's up there, you know, they're about $400. So as soon as I saw this on eBay, I had to get it. But now that we're, of course, getting a new tank, it is recommended to go ahead and seal the tank. So we have some red coat fuel tank liner here. As far as prep work, I mean, the tank is new. There isn't any heavy rusting or anything like that. As far as, you know, rust and stuff like that, it doesn't look too bad. It's got a scent to it, like a oil type of scent. So I think we're gonna have to use some cleaners anyways, because if there's oil in here, then I believe this is gonna have, you know, hard time sticking. So we have to prep this. From what I've, you know, read on the forums and seen on videos, you have to, you know, take probably a whole good day to get this stuff to kind of dry and stuff. So let me just go ahead and flip the tank so you guys can get a better look. Looks pretty good. Like I said, you can see, I think you can even feel it's got a little bit, like I said, I think there's a little bit of residue. I don't know from what or from where. There is a little bit of surface rusting, as you guys can see on the tank. I don't know how long this thing has been sitting. There's moisture in the air, so there is going to be some minor rusting. You can also see, you know, some oil right here. You see how it's, you know, glossy? So it's got like a oil, it's got oil kind of, I think it's oil. It's got oil all over it. I don't know if that's something that the manufacturer did to prevent, you know, surface rust or rusting or whatever. But there is, you know, just by touching it, there is a little bit of a residue. You could also see the gloss right over here too as well. So it might be that. I'm gonna cover this up with some masking tape. Cover this up with masking tape. I do have acetone. I don't want to use it because acetone is expensive, but I have about 2 gallons of acetone because I do paint. So we're going to use that, and of course we're going to use the gas cap because the seller also gave me a gas cap. Typically you don't get a gas cap with these. So alright, so I've been shaking the tank for a few minutes now. You can see there's rust in there. It's the acetone took a different hue to it too, so I think that's some of the oil that's being extracted. Here, let me see if you guys can get a better look at it. But you can see the debris in there so far from just shaking it. I'd say maybe 6 minutes. So this is just acetone. I think I'm going to clear this out and then do it again. Like I said, I didn't want to use the acetone, but after seeing the results so far, I'm going to keep on using it. I'm going to, you know, try to get most of this, like I said, this residue, this oil residue that the manufacturer went ahead and coated this thing in. So looks like we're getting some progress done here. So this is just what I'm doing right here. Just moving the tank around, trying to get the acetone out. Alright, let's just keep on cleaning this. I'm going to try to drain this out, and then I'm going to go ahead and do another batch of acetone and see if the acetone starts to come out clear instead of having this this rust brown look to it. So a lot of the rust has kind of built up in one spot of the tank. I am using these vice grips, well, not vice grips, but these grips to kind of get some of that rust out of there, since my hand doesn't fit. So you see right there, that's all that stuff that was in there. It looks like I got most of it. I'm gonna go ahead and refill the tank again with some more acetone, and here's what I got out of it. You guys can see there's a lot of gunk in there. So make sure you do this in a well ventilated area. This stuff is strong. Yeah, let's pour some more acetone in there, and then let's see how the next batch comes out, because it looks like there's still like oil residue in there even after hitting it with the acetone. Alright, so we've been shaking it for an extra say about 10 minutes. You can still see some of the rust is still in there. The coloring of the acetone is not as brown, so maybe we'll hit this up with maybe one more round of acetone, and then probably use some alcohol or rubbing alcohol on it, 97% I believe. But yeah, we're getting there. I think we'll probably be ready for the red coat, for the sealer, maybe about 40 minutes, because I'm gonna let this dry. You can see all the rust right there. Alright, so we're getting there. This is the second time around when I was able to pull out of it. Yeah, this is just, I think this is just the moisture rust buildup on the inside of the tank, of course. It's looking a little bit better. I don't know if you guys can see in there. I need a light here. Let me see if I can get my phone. Does that work? Is that better? I don't know. Yeah, you can still, there's still stuff in there. I'm gonna use the acetone one more time. Fill it up with acetone. This is the second batch. A little bit more clear, not as brown as the first time. So, like I said, we're trying to get the best possible results here, because you do not want to do this twice, especially with the liner. If it doesn't stick to the inside of the tank, you start getting flakes, and then it starts to peel off, and it's just a nightmare to deal with. Alright, so here's the third time around results. The acetone is a lot more clear. So I'm guessing we got whatever was in there, oil or whatever they used to coat this thing, we got most of it out. So there's still a little bit of rust, residue, debris in there, just a little bit. So we're gonna try to get that with, of course, the shop towel. But yeah, this thing's looking pretty clean now. I think I'm gonna use the rubbing alcohol and finish that up, and then give it a few minutes to dry, and then we're gonna start pouring the red coat. This is 70%. I thought this was 97%, but this is 70% alcohol. I think it should be fine. All right, it might not dry as fast. Let's just dump that whole thing in there. So far, three coats of acetone and one of alcohol. Hopefully this works. So that's a whole thing of alcohol. We're just gonna keep on getting this stuff out. It looks pretty clear to me. All right, here's what we got out on the third of acetone. Still has a little bit of a brown hue to it, but a lot better than the first time around. And of course, this was my recent scrubbing of the inside with the grips. Of course, this is what I was able to get. So you can see it's improving. It's getting better. A couple rags so far. They all smell of acetone. This stuff is strong, guys. So do it outdoors. All right. Alright, so this is what it looks like after, of course, the 3 acetone dips and the alcohol right now. Looks pretty clear. Looks a lot better. There's still a little bit of debris in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab another shop towel and try to scrape that stuff out of there, and give it a couple minutes to dry. This looks a lot better now compared to the first pass. Of course, a big difference. And yeah, it looks like a lot of it's out. I'll probably hit it with the acetone one more time, because it looks like it's going to take a minute for it to dry with this alcohol, because it's 70%, so meaning 30% of it is probably water. I thought it was a 97%. That's all I had. 97%, of course. It dry a little bit faster, so I'll hit it with the acetone a little bit. Alright, so this is the fourth bath of acetone. I don't know what to call it. So you can see, because it's been leaking out of my masking tape, of course, because of the fumes of the acetone. You can see, remember how this used to be, you know, like a high gloss? The acetone has removed the oil. So if we can see the results here, we know the inside's gonna have the same results. So it's working. All right, so acetone, you can use the rubbing alcohol if you have a 97% one. The reason why I did the acetone again is because of the 70% acetone, so there's 30% of probably water. I don't know what's in the rubbing alcohol, but I know the acetone completely dries, because it actually evaporates a lot faster than water and alcohol. So acetone, that's why I'm doing a fourth bath of acetone, and we will see when I dump this stuff out, you'll see that it's completely clear now. I've been using the shop towels, so there's still a little bit of debris in there, you guys can see, but it's a lot better. It looks a lot clearer compared to the first time around, when it had that milky brown look to it. So you can see there's still a little bit of debris, but I'm gonna try to get most of it out before I put the red coat in there. So yeah, it's getting there. I think I might even be able to recycle this this acetone. I have this little can over here. This is what I use to recycle. This is what I use to clean my my tools, my air guns. So this is a fresh one. This is from Lowe's. Lowe's is about $2 cheaper than Home Depot. If you guys have, you know, a better location or something a little bit cheaper, these are $22 a piece. They are expensive. So like I said, Home Depot, they had it at $24. 2 years ago, this used to be $18. All right, so we're pretty much ready for the red coat. I reread the instructions, and it says here that the fastest way to get this dry is to actually use the acetone, which is what we've been using. So I've been blowing air drying this thing with the nozzle here, and I've been doing that for about 20 minutes. Turns out just use the acetone. That's the fastest way to get this ready for the red coat per instructions. So yeah, you don't have to spray this for an hour. Alright, so now as you guys can see, the gas tank, the cap, I wrapped it with plastic. Hopefully the red coat does not get into into my vent pipe. And for this, I'm just going to use masking tape. There's no need to thread this with the bolts, which I have somewhere. So I had them just right now. I'm not sure where I placed it at, but yeah, we're gonna start pouring this in there. We gotta stir it first, so I got my stir stick right here. We're gonna try to get to the bottom of this, because that's where most of the pigments kind of settle down. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. Let's see if we don't make a mess here. Alright, let's go ahead and cover this up, because I think I am going to try to save some of this stuff just in case. So that is in there. Yeah, that's in there. Alright, so let's go ahead and move this to the side. Ooh, still dripping. And let's go ahead and get our masking tape. Get our masking tape. Man, I gotta clean my work area. Let's put that over there. Let's try to make sure we get good coverage, good adhesion. And then we're gonna start shaking this thing up. I mean, not shaking it, but moving it. Start moving it. This looks like it's got good coverage. So I'm not sure how long we're supposed to move this stuff around the first time around, but we're supposed to not let it sit too much. So other people have moved it maybe about 5 minutes. So you want it to slush. I think that's the terminology that it says on the instructions. You want to slush it around in there. Don't shake it, because then of course you'll introduce air in it. So we're supposed to move it every few minutes, I believe, but it's really warm right here in the sun, so I'm not too sure you know, how hot it is. Maybe put it in the shade so it doesn't heat up too fast. So yeah, we gotta just keep on moving it. It's heavy, you can feel it in there, it's heavy. So you want to coat every little bit, flip it, turn it. I'm just wondering if the masking is gonna hold up. Uh-oh, that's my timer for my clothes. I gotta go get it. Alright, so I've been stirring this for about, I'd say 15 minutes, and I'm just like treating it like a baby. I'm just rocking it back and forth. Like I said, you're not supposed to shake this. Just rock it back and forth. The masking tape is doing the job. I went ahead and I put this on the sofa too, and I just kind of rocked it back and forth from the top, just like this. I did a little bit of this, and then I put it towards the bottom, rocked it left and right. Make sure you have good grip on this. You do not want to drop the tank while you're doing this. So make sure your arm strength is up there too. My arms are getting tired from just rocking it back and forth. So we've been doing this for about 15 minutes. I'm getting ready to dump out all the excess of red coat. And you're not supposed to let it sit for, you know, I think too long. You're supposed to move it every, you know, few minutes. The reason why is because the red coat actually builds up in one spot, and if you've painted, you know, leave your paint roller, the tray, leave it in one spot, let that paint dry. It's latex. You let that dry, the top creates a little pull underneath, of course, because the air dries the top, you know, faster. So once you start moving your tray of paint, you'll see that there's a little pull of paint underneath of there. So that's the same reason why you don't want to let this sit for too long on one side, because the top piece is what dries faster. And then once you move it, once you know, put this on your bike, you know, the vibrations and all this other stuff, you could break away that top layer, and then have a bunch of red coat or a bunch of sealer in your tank, and that, of course, that's going to clog up your pump. So let's go ahead, puncture this. I already dropped this. Let's go ahead and get this so we can recover most of the red coat. So let's see if this works. Let's see if we could, you know, keep it to a minimum hole so we don't make a big mess. So let's go ahead and do this. Let's see if we can get this red coat out of there. So you can actually see the hue of the masking tape. So let's see if we can get this out. You're supposed to let this drain out on one spot, but it's gonna be tough. There it is. It's starting to come out. You guys probably can't see. Of course, it's gonna be tough to kind of gauge where it's at. There it is. It's coming out. It's, you know, slowly but surely. Well, let's go ahead and take the fuel tank cap off. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Let's see if any of it got on top. Oh, you can actually see the red coat. So yeah, it did. There is a little bit. Looks like that vent pipe doesn't look like it's covered up or clogged or anything like that. Alright, so we're pretty much finished with the tank. I used about, I say about a quarter of this thing. I said the level's about right here now. So we used about a quarter of it for a 4.5 gallon tank. My timer's not going off. I gotta rotate this thing. So let's go ahead and rotate it real quick. Let's go ahead and hit that repeat. Alright, so we're rotating this thing every 5 minutes. per instructions, once there's no fume or there's no scent or no smell of the red coat, that's when you know it's completely dried. So we're just gonna keep on rotating it every 5 minutes. Just wanted to show you guys. I think I picked up on something. I don't know about, you know, when I did it the first time, I left it in there for about maybe 10 to 15 minutes. I don't think you have to have it in there for that long. There is no directions or instructions on how long you're supposed to have that first part, but I went ahead and I quoted it for about 15 minutes the first time around. Probably not a good idea. So maybe instead of doing it 15 minutes, do the first pass with the full, you know, quart of red coat. Do it for about maybe 5 minutes, dump it out, and then, you know, rotate the tank every 5 minutes. Keep on rotating it, you know, just to make sure that you don't get any excessive bubbles or pools of red coat in there. I also wanted to show you guys what this looks like. So this is the sealer, of course. I'm trying to clean up my area here, and you can see it's like a little membrane of whatever this material is, this sealer. So that's what's inside the tank. You can see that it's a little bit transparent. It's not thick, or it's not like the Por 15 or KBS. It's not the same. I believe some of those come in like a silver. This is more of a tint. You guys can see that right here. You can get the camera. You can see. So you're making a little membrane to kind of cover up all the, you know, imperfections and the holes of what's inside. So yeah, this is what you're building inside of your gas tank. So that's pretty much the sealer. Of course, you could do this over rust, but it's probably recommended for you to, you know, clean it up a little bit. So this is the top. I went ahead and I hit this with a little bit of air, my vent, because it was kind of covered up. So I just kind of, you know, tapped it a little bit, and that penetrated. I'm trying to make sure I don't cover up my vent, my vent for the gas tank. That's what I'm trying to do. I got a little bit of spillover, but we're gonna have to paint the tank anyway, so this doesn't really matter. I hit it with a little bit of acetone and it came off. Right now it's drying quite a bit. If you know, it's a little bit dry to the touch now. Let's go ahead and flip this thing so you guys can see what it looks like on the inside. There's quite a bit of I wouldn't say it's a full, like, smooth coat on the inside. There seems to be a little bit of like it just runs overall. I think they should be okay. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna try to see if I could lay this on the table. So so that's what the inside looks like. I don't know if you guys can see that. The camera's picking that up. You see there's little splats of that on the inside of the tank. So hopefully this isn't a problem. Hopefully this isn't an issue. But you can see it's all coated in red coat. You can see there's a red hue to the whole tank. I've been trying to move it. Like I said, I've been moving this thing every 5 minutes. At first I was moving it every minute or every 2 minutes. I was just moving the tank. There still seems, of course, all of that is still there. There's still some smell to the red coat, so it's not completely dry yet. But yeah, it's still drying. So we're just gonna keep on moving this thing around. Like I said, every 5 minutes I'm gonna be moving this. You're not supposed to put anything in here, so not until the scent of the red coat is gone. So I'm just moving this thing, like I said, every 5 minutes. That's pretty much it. That's, in case you're wondering. Leave your comments down below if you think that's going to be a problem. You guys think that's going to be an issue? Hopefully it's not. That's what I'm crossing my fingers. Anyways, you guys are going to get some more tips on how to prep a new tank. You guys let me know in the comments. Let me know if I did alright, if I did okay, if you guys approve. Or am I going to have trouble with this thing? You guys stay out there, stay safe, don't believe everything you read. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.